I'm so excited for this show because I just know that it's going to reach a lot of people in need for the help of overcoming the fear of flying. Hello, I'm Tara Lilly, your host and hypnotherapist. Welcome to Santa Barbara Hypnotized, co-creating mind, body, and spirit in paradise. So, have you flown before and just white-knuckled it the whole way, heart pounding, wanting to cry, which then turns into anger, maybe even regret for booking the travel in the first place? How about drinking yourself into a stupor? Have you visited the doctor for anti-anxiety meds that didn't even completely help? How are we going to use your mind to fly at ease? The destination of this show is to empower your subconscious, to turn that anxiety into a thing of the past, and get you to a completely relaxed state of light hypnosis, quickly, easily, efficiently. And we're going to do this at the subconscious level, regardless of your fears or phobias in the past. So, you love traveling, being a tourist, and exploring new places. So do I. But there's one part of travel that isn't so fun. Flying. Flying is simply a hassle, and most people would avoid it if they could, and maybe someday flights will be a thing of the past. But for now, we have to get on that plane if we want to explore the world, right? But flying is really such a hassle. Those long lines, rude people who are probably just dealing with their own fear of flying anxiety. Has your flight ever been delayed? Stressful. Airport food? How about lost luggage? But for some travelers, flying is more than just a hassle or an inconvenience. It's actually terrifying. I'm going to start this off by telling you of my own personal experience. So here's my story with planes. I actually had a fear based on an incident that actually happened. And I'm not saying this to scare you, but to give you hope, because I am no longer afraid of flying. Okay, so maybe some turbulence or those plane noises that still get me, they can get me frustrated, but I can quickly calm myself into a relaxation, which is key. So first, I loved the thought of traveling the world, and as a freshman in high school, I actually wanted to be an airline stewardess. So I was 18, and my best friend and I chose to move to Hawaii on our own for the first time. Well, our first time on our own, it only lasted 3 months. All right. The airplane ride home, I think we were about 20 minutes into our flight, and the captain came on saying that there was a light on that needed to be checked out, and that we needed to turn back around to the Hawaii airport. Okay, no problem, right? Well, then he came on soon after and sounded different, a bit disturbed, and says that he can't land with all this fuel in the plane. so we need to dump it first. I don't know if they still do this, but at the time we watched, and actually what happened is we watched the stewardess start to panic, and they buckled in those little jumper seats. So fearful, you bet. And the people around us quickly, we could start to see panic. No one knew really what to expect. Some of us cried, some got mad, some of us prayed. But in the midst of the crescendo, there was just quietness awaiting our fate. And we watched as that fuel was dumped out of the plane into the Pacific Ocean. And after that, we had to actually coast back to the airport. Landing was so scary, but in the end, we were safe. And this fire truck had to tow us for what seemed like an hour. And they gave us some drink and meal vouchers. And even though we were, they served us alcohol. And we made friends around us really quickly. And kind of the group of us, it kind of bonded us, and we got to be friends really quick, and got back on that flight drunk. And that's how we all managed to get back home after that, because no one wanted to get back on a plane. Believe me, if I could just move back to Hawaii, I would have just moved back. And we actually thought about it seriously. And then I had an opportunity to go to Japan a few years after, and I really wanted to go. This time I equipped myself well with a meditation from the Celestine Prophecy, if you remember that book. They had this little meditation on tape, actually, that I placed in my Walkman, and it helped tremendously. And during this, I had to really process my fear of flying. I really just released to fate. If it happens, then it happens. Me acting so panicky, it's only going to make the process worse. If it was my time, then I had to release to that. It's not easy to do, I know. But I was flying regardless of how I felt, either way. So the plane was on course. It didn't matter what my fearful thoughts that were going on. I just had to have faith and just really surrender to that. Or choose never to get onto a plane again, right? Or at that plane at least. The choice is always ours. The choice is always ours to book that ticket and get on. So it was about 10 years ago that I finally conquered my fear of flying. I truly had to make the decision not to be afraid. It was making my children afraid. My husband was so patient, although he would purposely startle me, like grab my arm, and he'd startle me with any kind of plane sound. So anytime the plane made any kind of noise, he would startle. It actually helped out. Now, I knew I had to step up or not fly, so I made the choice. And with the help of relaxing music and meditation, on CD this time, now I'm totally fine. And my hope is for that for you too. So, fear of flying can be caused by a number of factors, including claustrophobia, fear of heights, and many fearful flyers feel an irrational anxiety that their plane will malfunction and crash. And that's no matter how many times we hear that same statistic about how safe flying is compared to driving. Or how about the panic at the idea that you're not in control? And that can be part of it too. So no matter why you're scared of flying, there are certain things that you can do to help. You can alleviate your fears. So for many fearful flyers, learning the basics of how an airplane works, this can go a long way towards alleviating anxiety. Just the understanding of how the planes actually stay in the air, what causes that turbulence, and what's behind those scary sounds during takeoff and landing. For instance, understanding that a plane actually can continue to fly even if an engine fails, can help you feel less concerned about your aircraft, right? So just knowing this can help relieve the fear of your aircraft malfunctioning. For instance, did you know that a plane can still operate on 3 or even 2 of its engines, depending on conditions? And even if they all fail, the pilot still has 20 minutes or even longer if there's a tailwind to guide you to safety. How about bumpy rides? And despite the discomfort and fear, turbulence, in essence, is just really a rough patch caused by wind, thunderstorms, the jet stream, and just a few other weather factors. So turbulence is just wind speeds changing. Or it could even be a temperature change. Oh my gosh, who knew that it was just so basic? And in many cases, this is so cool, pilots actually know of the turbulent conditions ahead, and that way they can turn on those seatbelt signs on the plane as they're approaching it. So, flight attendants are usually the ones most affected by turbulence. I always wondered how they knew to turn the signs on a minute before the turbulence started, right? So remember, see what the flight attendants are doing, watch them. If they buckle in because of that turbulence, then you can start getting a bit worked up. Until then, just calm yourself. Now, I've never actually seen a stewardess buckle in, except for the first incident that I told you earlier. No, they're still up serving drinks and food as if there's no turbulence, as if nothing is even happening. Meanwhile, there are people white-knuckled holding on for dear life. If only they knew to observe the flight attendants, right? Turbulence is just kind of like a pothole in the road when driving. The next thing is just to know that people actually choose to be high up in the air for the majority of their time for a living. How can people do this for a living? If they can do it day in and day out, don't be scared. They're not scared. You shouldn't be either. And that actually is really comforting to me. Do you know how many flights per day there is? Approximately 100,000 flights per day globally. So let's look at the numbers per day. For you to think that your plane isn't going to make it to its destination out of all the 100,000 planes that day is almost a bit egotistical. Don't you think just a little? Out of all those flights, you consume yourself with the thought that it's your flight. So, you've made the decision to fly. You have crossed that hurdle. How do you keep on the path of calmness when booking? Well, there's a few things like choose an aisle seat. Most airlines nowadays allow you to request your seat assignment online. It's pretty cool. And you can do that right when you book a flight. So request an aisle seat, particularly if you're prone to claustrophobia. This should be a no-brainer. You'll feel less boxed in by the other people, and you'll be able to get up and move around the cabin more easily. This also makes it easier to avoid looking out the window if those with sky-high views make you nervous, right? So also, here's a big one, is really monitor your media intake. This may sound like a no-brainer, but it's going to be worth mentioning. Avoid airplane disaster movies. But also just news covering drama. This just gets your emotions going, right? Or even other scary media images. Don't let fear dominate your consciousness. Fear can actually start compounding on itself. So even if you're relaxed for your flight, you got that fear, it's compounding. But on the flip side, think positive. The time leading up to your trip, it's easy to let that anxiety, that flight anxiety build. Instead, Try to focus on more positive things. Let that compound, right? Think of all the fun things you'll do once you reach your destination. Remember, every time you say that you are scared of flying, you are cementing that as a fact into your brain. So just avoid the words like anxiety, scared, fearful. Use affirmations. Use them to change the way you speak about traveling by plane. And this will naturally change the way you think about it too. You're kind of skirting the flying and lumping it into like a whole experience of traveling, okay? Your subconscious will be more receptive to it that way. So here are some suggestions, and I will also post them on Facebook to use later for you. So you can use affirmations such as, I am so fortunate to have the means to be able to explore and see the world. I am so grateful for my opportunities to travel. I look forward to my journeys, every part along the way, even flying. I love my traveling opportunities. The freedom to travel is enjoyable. Keep your subconscious tricked into the whole package of traveling, right? You see how this is working? Pick and choose a few affirmations and just say them until you know them by heart. Keep an attitude of gratitude for traveling. Okay, so at the airport, the first step, and this is a really big one for me, don't rush. Allow yourself plenty of time to get to the airport way before your flight is scheduled, okay? Racing to the gate and worrying about missing your plane, it only adds to your anxiety. I feel just remembering the times that I've had to run, get there early, right? Another one, breathe through security. This is where I used to get really riled up because I don't go through the scanners. So I have to have the manual scan, and TSA actually really hates that. So they kind of verbally abuse me. Well, I'm not sure if they've changed that or not, but at the time they did. And they would make it really uncomfortable for those who opt out. And this caused a great deal of anxiety for me. And now I'm super relaxed opting out, and it's easy because I'm prepared. You can also wait for your flight in an airport lounge, and that's great. Most airlines have a private airport lounge that are quiet, luxurious oasis away from the hustle and bustle of the rest of the airport. And while they're usually reserved for club members or elite flyers, you can often purchase these, and it's like $50 a day approximately, which it's a small price to pay for a soothing, relaxing place to just mentally prepare for your flight. And oftentimes they'll give you free food. Now, when on the plane, make friends with the crew, okay? At least smile a lot, right? Give some good humor. You can use that attitude of humor and kindness just to displace negative thoughts that you might be having or might come up. So sometimes meeting the people who hold your safety in their hands can make the plane seem like a friendlier environment and also reassure you that the crew is knowledgeable and competent. Remember, if you get nervous, just look around and see what the flight attendants are doing, right? See how they're acting. Read their panic level. If they're relaxed, you know that you are good, no matter how bad the plane is bouncing around. Another thing, use technology in your favor. Make sure that your phone or tablet is stocked with soothing music, which helps me so much. I don't even need music anymore, actually, but It did help me in the past. And it really just helped me to get into a peaceful frame of mind and let that take over, that peace. You may also want to download some stress-busting meditation or hypnosis session, maybe like this one coming up. That way you can listen to it on your phone, and even if you are in airplane mode. Another good thing to remember is remind yourself who's in charge. Try to maintain a little control by reminding yourself that you are the one that made the decision to fly, and that you can decide how you will respond to that experience, right? Now, a pilot is in control. Schooled for years, lots of flights. Think about how much they're flying, right? Very, very capable of flying. A lot more comfortable knowing that than how easy it is to get a driver's license for driving a car, right? So just remembering who's in charge and just giving in to that. Breath. As anxiety increases, your breathing may get shallow, but deep breathing is an instant stress reliever. Breath is so important, and breathing slowly and deeply, just even for a count of 5, a count of 10. There's so many great breathing exercises out there. Prepare yourself with breath. Also, essential oils. They are great for relaxing. You can even put the essential oils on while you're doing, prior to your favorite hypnosis session. That way you can really ground the two, or anchor the two together, right? So that next time you have the smell of the essential oil, it will trigger relaxation. And just do this a couple times before you fly. That way, really, you dab it on there before you fly, and you're instantly taken into a relaxing mode. Now, make sure you bring something to read, a good magazine or a book. It will really take your mind off what's happening. Or even watch a comedy in your plane's in-flight entertainment system, okay? Or preload them onto your laptop or phone or tablet, whatever. Also, here's an important one, is use earplugs. They will just drown out the noise of the plane that can happen from time to time. Are you planning on having a drink? Now, I could never drink on the plane in my flights because I was trained as an EMT in my youth. So I'm always prepared for emergencies, okay? Except for the one time I told you about earlier when I was 18. Alcohol for me, it takes away that feeling of being in control and being able to respond to any kind of thing that needs to happen. But a lot of frightened flyers turn to alcohol to calm their nerves, which is okay, but it really only creates a false sense of relaxation. So, while if you have to have a drink, drink in moderation. Also, alcohol can contribute to dehydration, particularly in that arid environment of the airplane. And alcohol also spikes your blood sugar levels, causing even more anxiety. Oh, avoid sugar altogether also. It also causes your blood sugar to spike further, increasing your fight or flight triggers. So go for protein like nuts or any kind of protein just to keep that nice, even keel. And avoid caffeine. This and other stimulants can make you even more jittery. Sounds like a no-brainer, but it'll keep you on the edge, nervousness, and all of that. You know that already. Drink lots of water. Dehydration causes vomiting, and you don't want that added to your fears. Trust me. I actually just experienced this with my daughter. She didn't want to drink water because she had a window seat, and someone was on the aisle. So, I mean, I feel the same way, not wanting to bother the person. Okay, so we aren't sure why she got sick really quick, but she did. She hadn't eaten because the food was horrible, and she'd eaten some pineapple, but she didn't drink any water. We think that maybe this is what caused it, but it was a disaster. She sat in her little corner of the window and just threw up so much. The flight attendant was actually mad at us because we kept handing her warm bags. I think the count was 8 bags. So the guy on the end, he got clued in on what was happening, and eventually, like, he was really nice about it, luckily, but it was horrible. We were, on the way home though, we were prepared. So she drank tons of water, she was fine. So drink water, avoid dehydration. Also, go with the flow. Turn on those air vents overhead, and just as soon as you get on board, the flow of air may actually help you feel less claustrophobic. So the last plane we were on, it was a cheap flight. They didn't have any air vents. That was crazy. I've never seen no air vents, so be prepared for that. And they have those little fans that plug into a USB port. So just pack one of those. If I would have known, I probably would have picked one up. Air is key for white noise, distractions, and also just that feeling of freedom. Now, my number one recommendation is contact a professional hypnotherapist. If you have a fear of flying, a licensed hypnotherapist can help you figure out that root cause of your fear and how to help you overcome it, right? Speaking of hypnosis, we have that coming up, so get ready. So in hypnosis, we will just shift your mind to a relaxed state while flying. And hypnosis is just a deep state of relaxation. I'll actually use the word deep sleep in the hypnosis, but you won't fall asleep or be unconscious. But this deep sleep is just a reminder just to let go and fly into a sleep-like feeling, okay? Now in your deep relaxation, you might feel light, tingling sensation, or you may feel heavy, relaxed feelings of comfort. You may even feel like you've just slept plenty, okay? Maybe you won't have any sensations at all, just this wonderful feeling of calmness and a chance to just close your eyes. You may find your mind getting distracted. You might have self-distracting thoughts, and this is normal. It's just your mind sorting and integrating with your subconscious. Have you felt inspired to browse for flights yet? And we haven't even gotten to the hypnosis part. The fun is yet to come. So let's take a short break, and when we come back, get ready to be hypnotized. Welcome back to Santa Barbara Hypnotized. You know, hypnosis can be a great tool for relaxation, and that's basically all you need, right? That's what you need to be fully prepared for a comfortable, smooth sailing, but in the air, right? So releasing old fears of flying and building your confidence around your traveling from the moment you book the flight to the day you land back home. And we're going to do this through hypnosis. Together, we will co-create this relaxed feelings of safety, security, and wonderful flying success. So you can travel the world in peace. So you can travel the world in peace. First, in preparation, please turn your phone on Do Not Disturb. Go to a comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. This way you can enjoy this fully. And glasses off if that's more comfortable. Feet flat on the floor. Sit back straight up, your spine nice and straight. Or if physical challenges have you in bed, just propped up enough to look this way, okay? So head this way without moving, without moving your head. Just keep nice and still, but let your eyes just kind of wander around the room. Just look around your surroundings and find a spot or an object just to stare at. You'll notice a tendency for your eyes to be drawn to one spot, or pick a spot and just stare at it. Don't move your eyes away from it. Find it. Got it? Good. Just staring and breathing. Now take a nice deep breath in and out. Doesn't that just feel relaxing already? Enjoy that. In a moment, you may notice that it's getting harder and harder to keep your eyes open. You may be noticing that your eyelids are feeling heavier and heavier as they begin to want to close. And as they begin to want to close, you'll prepare yourself to enter the state of hypnosis for the purpose of deep relaxation. Just focus on staring. And the more you try to fight closing your eyes, the more you will notice this peaceful, comfortable, flowing sense of calm that just washes over you as you prepare to enter relaxed and calm. Your eyelids are feeling heavier and heavier. You may feel the need to want to blink as it's harder and harder to keep them open. Soon your eyelids will close, and when they do, you will enter a light hypnotic state. If your eyes are not already closed, just close your eyes now and feel the weight of your eyelids relaxing. Bringing even more relaxation to your body as you just breathe and enjoy this. Deep sleep. And each time deep sleep is suggested to you for the purpose of hypnosis, relaxing quickly, calmly, to this depth, or even deeper. And the physical body relaxed, and the mind is very calm and open to only positive suggestions. Breathe deeply. Good. Now let it out slowly. Excellent. You're doing great. You are in complete control of your mind and the thoughts you think. You can think in a relaxed state whenever you would like to. And it's a wonderful feeling to be in control like this, and to go far off to new destinations or short little flights. You have now decided that it's time for you to overcome your fear of flying. And to spread your wings and travel to foreign places. You have decided it's time to overcome your fear of flying and spread your wings and travel to foreign places. It's a wonderful feeling to be up there, above the clouds, flying over the world. But if you are afraid of flying, then your mind will be distracted from the excitement and focused entirely upon some fantasized, imminent danger. In the past, that was stopping you from enjoying flying. And this is why you are here today, to release this fear, to release that fear once and for all. I want you to visualize or imagine that you're in a travel agency and there's a section there that catches your attention. And you go over to that area, that country that attracts you. You browse through their brochures, and these brochures introduce you to a part of the world that you would like to go to. You feel the need to visit. And looking through this brochure, you feel a sense of genuine excitement. Just feel that. And take 3 long, deep breaths. And this excitement may be a little tingle or like butterflies in your tummy. This excitement to go to this foreign place. And this excitement is perfectly normal. Most people have this feeling of excitement when they get excited about an unknown adventure. It's perfectly normal. So, you have now decided where you want to go, and you plan the hotel and some activities to go along, and you set your date. You are already beginning to feel excited. Like, remember when you were a child, how you couldn't sleep the night before, like your birthday, Christmas, or any other exciting thing that was going on? That wonderful feeling of anticipation that something good is about to happen. Just remember that feeling now. Remember that feeling and take 3 long, deep breaths. Now visualize or imagine that the day has come for your flight. Your luggage is packed, ready and loaded. It's loaded into the vehicle that you are traveling to the airport in. You think back and you double check that you have everything you need. Think about it. You have your passport. You have your plane tickets or the ticket on your phone. Oh, you have your phone, foreign currency, a visa if needed. You are ready. Everything is in order. So you can cross that off your list. No anxiety about being prepared. Now imagine yourself traveling to the airport now. Notice who's with you. Notice what you are wearing. Allow yourself to become really absorbed in this exciting feeling. And take 3 long, deep breaths. All the time feeling really, really good inside. Because something special is about to happen to you. You are about to visit strange lands. The world is such an incredible place. And it's amazing to think that while you are here right now, in just a short time, you can be thousands of miles away. Now take those 3 long, deep breaths again. Now imagine yourself at the airport, checking in, getting your luggage weighed, and seeing that it is taken away on the conveyor belt, nice and safe, in good hands. And now you make your way easily through passport control, right through security into the waiting area, where you look at the screens to find your boarding gate and number. Right through security, it was a breeze. And now you're in the waiting area and you find those big boards that have your flight number and your gate. You know where you're headed. You know what direction to take. And just take 3 nice, big breaths as you head to the boarding area. Along the way, you might purchase a book or a magazine which looks really interesting. And you're holding your reading material in your hand, waiting for your flight to be called because you've gotten there plenty early. And your flight number is called and you prepare to board the plane as you take 3 long, deep, relaxing breaths. Easily down the corridor and through the plane, you find your seat. You sit in your seat with your traveling companion close by, if so, your book in your lap, your seatbelt already fastened, and you are feeling really, really good inside, really confident. And after you've been shown that routine safety instructions, your plane begins to move. It starts to travel along the runway, no problem, gathering speed. As you feel it lift up into the air, just feel that slight lean back in your seat now. And take 3 long, deep breaths, feeling safe and secure. And you place your earphones in your ears and push play and follow the relaxing music and voice through a hypnotic journey into calm, relaxation, and bliss. You are already feeling a light floating sensation as you breathe deeply. Feeling incredibly good inside. Feel the floating, flying, free sensation. And take 3 long, deep, relaxing breaths. as you lift higher and higher into the air. And you don't mean to, but you can't resist the temptation to look out the window because you're feeling so safe and secure. And when you look out the window, you notice that you're already high above the clouds. And you feel a sense of pride as your comfort grows. You feel on top of the world as the plane glides smoothly through the clear blue sky. And it really feels amazing up here above the earth, with good feelings inside you. Incredible feelings, calm and tranquil feelings. And again, you feel so proud of yourself. And just take 3 long, deep breaths, feeling that pride. And before you know it, the flight attendant comes with a selection of food and drinks, calmly pouring the water that you requested. Now, there's a little turbulence, but the water is poured so steady by her hand as she keeps a calm look on her face. No concern of any turbulence. She knows there is no problem, and it assures you that there is no problem at all. And taking another deep breath, you are flying high on your accomplishment. And in between talking, eating, and reading, you manage a short nap, just a short sleep, and you dream that you have already arrived at your destination. And you're thoroughly enjoying yourself at your destination. This dream feels good, and you feel this floating, flying sensation. And before you know it, the plane is descending. You feel the tip of the plane heading a little down, and it lulls you deep into relaxation. But just to be sure, you peek at the stewardess. She is calmly fixing something in the back, no concern of the tilt of the plane. And you notice the other stewardess. She's pushing the cart to the back. Not a worry. And you watch her body language, relaxed, routine. And this relaxes you deep into your seat. And take 3 long, deep breaths as you relax deeper. Maybe feeling a melting feeling into your chair as you feel so relaxed. You hear a mechanical sound come from under the plane. Hear that now. And you just remember that it's just the wheels. They need to be released so that you can land properly, right? And they always make that same sound. And the more you fly, the more you get used to this routine sound. And knowing that just lulls you even deeper into the state of floating. So relaxed, you don't even notice how fast it took you to reach the ground. so relaxed that you don't even notice how long it took you to reach the ground. You land with a slight bump, and the plane continues along the runway. And that bump doesn't even affect you. You actually anticipated it. The plane eventually slows down and stops. The pilot and ground staff slowly help the plane reach its final destination just outside the airport terminal. And you really enjoyed that flight. So much that you're already looking forward to making the return trip. You're looking forward to it because you know that everything will be fine, just as it was, and just as it always will be. And you really enjoyed the flight. It made you feel good. It made you feel a sense of pride. And because you are now prepared in your mind, your flight will go almost exactly the way that you've just imagined it. The good feelings especially will be stronger than that, and you will really enjoy your flight because you really enjoyed this flight, and you feel good. You feel fine, and you feel confident and in control. And every time you travel in the future, you will be eager to fly in a plane. You will be surprised at how much you enjoy actually flying. The world is now your oyster, and now you can really begin to enjoy yourself. So just breathe into that relaxation and enjoyment. And on your return trip home, you will feel twice as calm and relaxed as you do now. Enjoying the knowledge that everything is so safe for your flight home after this wonderful and well-deserved rest. And with any flights that you take in the future, the floating will remain with you and help you feel safe, calm, and relaxed, knowing that you no longer have that old fear of flying, for you are now totally free of the fear, free to enjoy yourself. So just let this wave of relaxation wash over you, making you feel even more calm and relaxed. In a few moments, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And at the count of 5, you'll be wide awake, fully alert, and confident, perhaps with a little smile, ready to allow these suggestions to work for you. Feeling really calm, relaxed, and happy, and looking forward to your forthcoming flight. And you find that every day you're becoming more and more the traveler you really want to be. Every day as you prepare for your new adventure makes you more and more prideful. Your mind knows no limits, and you can do anything you set your mind to. You have all the confidence in the world, and you feel wonderful. And these suggestions are firmly embedded in your subconscious mind and grow stronger and stronger day by day. And the suggestions you have just heard in this hypnotic session are completely and permanently embedded in your powerful subconscious mind. I will count down now from 0 to 5. At the count of 5, you will be wide awake, refreshed and alert, and ready to return to normal conscious awareness. 0, feeling this calm, relaxed state that you can go to quickly, easily. Just relax. 1, returning to the here and now. 2, feel your eyelids flickering. 3, becoming aware of your surroundings now. Maybe you even feel a slight smile as you become more aware of the room. 4, eyelids becoming lighter and lighter as you take a nice deep breath in, moving your toes and your fingers. And 5, your eyes open, feeling already wide awake, mind and body returning to normal waking. Wide awake, refreshed, and alert. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you now have been motivated to reach your destination. Thank you so much for watching. I hope now that you have been motivated to reach your destinations, please let me know how this felt and if it indeed helped to motivate you to plan some travels, and how you're feeling about it. Are you relaxed? Let us know about your exploring mind. Or let me know how this worked on your next flight. Please try it out, and I would love to hear. Remember, tomorrow is the first day of your explorations. Go experience the world. We'll see you next time on Santa Barbara Hypnotized.